fucking mess. Okay, so we have now taken all the bodywork off, all the spray on Bondo, everything that I did to this car in 3.5, I think it was 3.5 weeks or a month and a week of painstaking bodywork to that top has now been removed. So now that we got it all stripped down to bare metal again, we did not use airplane stripper on this. There's no way possible if the airplane stripper would have removed everything that we had on it. We would have used 2 or 3 gallons of that, and it would have been a real nightmare. What you did see me do though is I took my 7-inch grinder with a 7-inch 36 grit pad. I used 4 of those pads, came to around 30 bucks for that, and I went ahead and stripped the car down with that. Now, I'm going to warn everybody out there, do not attempt to do this at home. Do not attempt to take a grinder and strip your paint off at home. You will warp your metal and you will be in very, very bad situation if you do. I can't even show you how to do that, but maybe one day I will. But right now, what we are concerned about is this metal is now completely stripped down, grinded down. You can see it. I stripped this down with aircraft stripper, and I prepped it up like I do every other car, and I did all the body work, and it didn't stick. I'm thinking it was from the U-pole reface or resurface shit. The fiberglass resin chemically reacted with the Bondo and made it worse. So that's what I'm thinking it was, because that's never happened before. I've never had this problem before, and I've done this thousands and thousands of times. So that's the only thing that I've done different than everything else, is I put the U-pole reface, resurface shit on top, straight directly on top of the Bondo, because the only place that it was peeling off was where the Bondo was. But I didn't want to take a chance and leave it on there and just grind the Bondo out. So now we're gonna go ahead and redo all the fucking body work on this car, and it's not gonna be fun, but at least I'm gonna do it right for the guy, whether I paint the car or not, whether I do anything else besides this, I don't know. At this point in time, right now, I am actually suggesting that I will probably not be painting this car. I'll probably not be painting this car due to very, very many circumstances, and this is one of them that you're looking at right here. I did finally figure out what they did on this roof, the other shop. What they did is, you can barely see it, but if you look right here, and then you keep following that line down, you can see. And what they did is they came across here, and then they came over here. And then if you come over here and look right here, you can see what they did is they basically, and then see how it goes around here like that, and then it'll keep on going all the way around. They basically cut the top out of the car, the top section, and then they laid it in, okay? They laid it back in the car and then welded all the way around. Now, that could be another problem with this, is that this top is off a used car and it wasn't prepped right. We don't know. That's the situation you have when you run into all this crap, is you just don't fucking know. Here's some I still got to take off, but I want you to look real close. Then when I hit it with the grinder, you can see how it's flecking off and peeling off, and that's not good. That's not a good situation. So here's right here, here you go right there. You see how that's kind of like peeling up, okay? It's just a fucking joke. It's a real fucking joke, but I'm not leaving the guy hanging. Whether I paint it or not, I think I did a hell of a lot of fucking work to this thing to get it into the stage that it's in. You know, I'm not happy with the body parts on the front, and to really get those body parts in motion and in gear the proper way would be one of those jobs that you would have to charge by the hour. I mean, to get that fender down right there where it's buckled up over there, you can see that as I zoom in. All right, and then to line everything up, and you know, here's this fucking body line right here, and it just looks like shit. You know, that's an hourly wage situation. Look at the door gap on this here. I mean, it looks pretty good in the camera, but if you saw this thing in real life, I mean, it's just, you know, horrendous. Needs extensive body work on the doors and the fenders to get those body lines in square. As it stands right now, I will not be painting this car, and I will get it in paint ready stage as far as all the body work goes and primer. And then if he wants to take it somewhere else or sell it or whatever, they can mess with the front end parts. I've spent enough money on it. Okay, I've spent enough money on it and enough time, and I'm just, you know, head over heels on this fucking thing, and spinning wheels, spinning tires, spinning wheels, and just, to me, I'm just going downhill on this project because I've had a lot of other projects here that were before his, and I'm just putting them behind. So this is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. We'll just have to see what's going to happen with the 72 Oldsmobile. Did I give up on this car? No. I did not give up on this car, because giving up would have been finding the problem I just found and say, fuck it, I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But instead, I went ahead and took it to the extreme of completely removing it one more time and do all the body work one more time and get it in paint stage ready where they can paint it. And if he likes the fenders like that and the hood, then more power to him. Like I said, I'm going to have a talk with the owner, and we'll see where it goes from there. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, working on Sunday. That's right, this is Sunday. You don't hear any cars, you don't hear no traffic. I'm the only motherfucker here on Bennett Lane today, trying to get shit done. I should be at home with Minnie the body shop girl, but instead, I'm taking care of this situation right here. We'll see you later, take it easy, and hopefully something good will come out of this. As far as I'm concerned, it's a fucking washout, and it's just one of them fucking deals that, you know, I don't know. I just don't fucking know. Oh, man. Alright, so what you're watching me do is I'm actually hand block sanding it using 80 grit. Remember we stripped that with a grinder using 36 grit grinding disc. So then I went ahead and I did all my body work like you saw. And then I went ahead and put 3 full wet. When I say full wet 3 coats, I'm talking real thick. Primer. I put a guide coat on it, and what I'm doing is I am using 80 grit. Alright, this is 80 grit sandpaper, because what we're doing now, we're leveling all the body work out by hand sanding it, and we're also getting rid of all these deep fuck off scratches, because this is the situation you have, is when you have to redo the body work like I just did on this. That's the only fucking way to do it. So I'm still debating whether I ought to paint this car or whether I ought to just, you know, have a talk with the owner, because either way, if I paint it or not, I still want to make sure that I do a good job, unlike the cocksuckers that did it before. I want to make sure that it's done right, so when he does take it to a paint and body shop, they can't slander me and say, well, this guy didn't do that and that guy didn't do that, because that's how it is. That's how it is wherever the fuck you go. If he takes this car to another shop, I can already see that they're gonna say, well, he didn't do this right, he should have done that. Because that's just the nature of the people trying to make the customer feel comfortable that they're not ripping him off. Go fucking figure that shit. if we look right here in this area, there's a low spot, all right? And I've already blocked it out several times. And I'm already getting to metal right here. This is metal. And if we look down here, this is Bondo. So these were high spots. These are, this was high, and I've leveled it out, all right? And then this is still high because we're hitting metal. And now we got a low spot because right in this area right here, what we got is guide coat paint. And if you look right there, you can see that's the guide coat paint. And when I run my block over it, nice and slow, it's not removing the guide coat. What it's doing is giving us high spots in the metal, which is saying this area right here is low and needs to be filled in more. And then if we look right here in this area, you can see where the guide coat is right here, but on each edge of it is Bondo. That's telling me that these two sections here are high and this is a low spot. Now when I come over here and do the final sand on this, I'll go ahead and block that out just like this, and I'll be keeping my eye on this spot to see if it disappears. If it disappears and these get bigger, that means that we've leveled that out. I can feel with my hand that this is actually a high spot here anyway, because it feels like a ridge instead of round. It feels like a ridge like that. So if I sand it like this right here, you can see how it's getting bigger, and it's also feathering the Bondo out. And look what's happening right there. See what's happening? We're getting rid of that low spot. So now I run my hand across it, and it's not as ridgy right here, but the ridge is right here. So I'm going to take my block sander, my 80, and I'm going to block sand that area down until I see that the Bondo shows. And I'm doing this one-handed, so I got to hold the camera. And now look what we got there. You can see a low spot, which means this is a high ridge right here. This is low. And when I run my hand over it, I can feel. Now, this is good, so I'm going to continue to sand that until I feel all the ridge gone. Now, the main situation we have about my friend Pete painting this car is, I'm going to be honest with you, this car is not a black car. Okay, you can't paint this car black and think that it's going to be a flawless, nice, beautiful paint job. It's not going to happen. The owner is stuck on very dark colors on this. He wanted it solid black. I talked him out of that. I said, let's go with a black cherry or purple rose Corvette colors. So he went with the black cherry. And then I said, what we could do is cut it off on the body line. On the bottom, we'll paint the top half silver, bottom half black cherry. You know, we got extensive body work on this roof, on the deck lid. And let me show you something else that makes it where it ain't a fucking black car. It's just not gonna happen. Now, remember where I fixed these door gaps here and we got everything looking good? And that's pretty much the best it's gonna get. Well, that's basically what it is, the best it's gonna get. But I wanna show you up here, I wanna show you this body line here. And I'm gonna come down real close here and I want you to see how the hood sticks up above the fender. You aren't here to feel that, but there's actually a hump right here that goes like this on this fender right here. And it's not really visible like in the prime, but if we paint that black, it's really going to stick out like a sore thumb. And then look how my finger hits that hood. All right, you can see it. All right, versus right here, you can see how it looks flush. Another problem we have is the body line. Look at the body line on this. It actually looks pretty good going all the way down. But when we come over here, take a look at this body line. See how wide it is right here? Now, it doesn't have the front fender brace on it, but when I kick it in with my foot, you see it doesn't even change. The body gap stays that way. And then when you ride up this line here, look how close it is. Look how close that is. And then once again, you can literally see the lip on this one, and then it goes away right here, and then we're gonna swing around here, and look at that fender. All right, look at the fender. This fender here has a hump instead of a dip. This one is humped up right here. And then when we come over to these body gaps, you can see that it's pretty large right here, all right? And we can probably suck that in just a little bit more to get it a little bit tighter, which would actually go ahead and loosen that up, and we can move that fender in, which would square that up. But then if we do that, and that's the way that we do it, what's gonna happen, it's gonna mess up our alignment up in the front here where all our grill goes, and you can already see there's a piece of chrome that goes right here. I'm sorry about that. So this chrome goes here and it sticks out and it's supposed to line up with here, but you can see how close the hood is there. And if you look in that area there, that's what it's supposed to look like, because when you put the chrome on it, it comes flush with this. And then we come over here to the replaced quarter panel that the other body shop did. And look at the gap on that. I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but that's a pretty big gap. Now, and when we pull the door out, of course it's flush. I did the body work and everything is flush when you look down it. But this is the situation you have with these Oldsmobiles, is that body gaps and body lines do not line up perfect. And you know, it's just an iffy situation. I have calculated, these are aftermarket fenders. They are not brand new. Both door skins have been replaced. We got a fucking rear quarter panel that somebody didn't replace all the way. They patched it, but used most of it. And then we came to the conclusion that when they replaced this roof, they didn't replace the roof skin where they should have done it. What they did is they cut a square hole out in the center and then put a used roof on top of that and then welded it in there. And that's why we have the bodywork going all the way around in a square. So now you can kind of understand why I really don't want to paint this car, because the guy wants it very, very dark color. He wants it black cherry and champagne. And I don't want to be liable of anybody bitching and complaining and whining because I took a job on that I thought was paint ready and have been working on for 2 fucking years to make it paint fucking ready, and then I go to paint it and something else happens to it, and it's down the road we go. Let's do it over. Now we're working for fuck off free, which is basically what I'm doing here, because I'm not even charging him to redo this. I'm not even charging him to redo this. I'm not even charging him to redo this. It was a fuck up, not mine. The manufacturer of the product I used fucked it up, but I'm the one paying for the problem, and that's the fucking situation you have when you're self-employed and doing this fucking shit that's supposed to be paint fucking ready. The Oldsmobile is going back to the owner in Washington State. I believe I've done the best I could do on this car. I never left him high and dry. And it's a sad situation, but the situation is sometimes you gotta let it go. Can you let the hood down, please?
This is one loud car. there she goes. We hate to leave her in such a situation, but sometimes that's what happens. The situation is just out of hand and out of pocket, and we just can't get her done. But the owner is okay with that, and so are we. So that's another one gone from the shop. Over and out.